We would like to play.
I don't think I need to tell you how popular the Wii was when it first came out. It was the most successful home console of the 7th generation, and I, like many other people, were obsessed with it. However, around the time that it came out, the Wii was associated as being a very kiddie console. The hardcore gaming audience were more interested in the PS3 and Xbox 360 and considered the Wii the most casual console in the world. But that didn't stop developers from trying to put some more mature content on it. So that's what we're talking about today. M-rated Wii games. They fascinate me. I will say we are not going to be talking about Mad World because I actually talked about it in a previous video. Go check it out. And also, I'm not going to really be talking about ports of video games. So even though the Resident Evil 4 Wii port is probably the best one out there, this is a port of an old video game, so I'm not really going to talk about it. So let's stop wasting time and get on with it. This is such a weird game. The original Dead Rising was made as a showcase for the Xbox 360 and next generation hardware. So it's such a weird idea to make a version of the game that runs on old hardware. But they did, and it plays nothing like the original. In fact, it plays like another Capcom game. And that's because this isn't actually a new Dead Rising game, this is a ROM hack for Resident Evil 4 to give it a Dead Rising skin. And to me, that is just so funny. Despite the fact that both of these franchises include zombies, they are two very different kind of games. So while making this game, they had to prioritize Resident Evil's gameplay over what makes Dead Rising's gameplay unique. In Dead Rising, you have a variety of weapons to use. Most items that you find in the environment, you can most likely use as a weapon. But because we're using the Resident Evil 4 engine for this game, there's a higher priority on gunplay. Not that the original Dead Rising didn't have any gunplay whatsoever, but melee was still a feasible option that you could use in that game. Here, not so much. Also, there's not really a open mall that you can explore, instead it's missions, which definitely makes this the furthest thing from a Dead Rising game that it could possibly be. But do I at least consider this game good? I mean, it's okay, I guess. It's very hard to judge this game on its own because it's peddling off of two very good games in my opinion. Like, the Resident Evil gameplay is fun, but like, these areas were clearly not really made for it. Most of these missions are rescue missions similar to the main game, but that was always like optional stuff, but here it's a lot more required. And just like the 360 version, the AI is not that great in my opinion. In the end, this game's biggest problem is the fact that there's two better games that you could be playing instead of this. Like, I guess this game is cool as like this weird novelty in the Dead Rising franchise and in Capcom's larger library, but otherwise, I don't really recommend that you play this game. I actually recommend that you play the original Dead Rising and Resident Evil 4 instead. I guess you could play this game for curiosity's sakes, but you're better off just doing something else.
Reel it in before I keelhaul ya! Oh no.
Another day, another video of me mentioning Silent Hill. Things really haven't changed much, haven't they? Silent Hill Shattered Memories came out in a very dark time to be a Silent Hill fan. This was back when Silent Hill was being tackled very poorly by Konami and largely given to random American developers who have never worked on a horror game ever. Climax Studios was one of these American developers. Climax Studios' previous Silent Hill game was Silent Hill Origins for the PSP, which I was personally not a fan of, but I know a lot of people like it. But we're not here to talk about Origins, we're here to talk about Shattered Memories. Shattered Memories is a pseudo remake of Silent Hill 1. It was originally an original concept, and the idea of the town of Silent Hill being covered with snow stuck with them in the final product. So we're pretty much telling a kind of semi-retelling of Silent Hill 1, but with some differences. Like, the story still follows Harry Mason trying to find his daughter in the town of Silent Hill, but it's quite different than the original game. In fact, this game is very unique in the fact that the choices you make actually impact the gameplay, which I think is really cool. Throughout the game, you are given these therapy sessions, and the decisions you make actually change the story that Harry Mason goes through in the game. NPCs and locations will be changed depending on what you do in these therapy sessions. There's a really cool twist involving these therapy sessions at the end of the game, but obviously I'm not going to spoil it because I actually do recommend you check this game out for yourself. I personally think that this is the best American Silent Hill game that they've released. Though, even though I like this game, I don't think it's a great Silent Hill game because it's just not scary. The only time that you're really encountering enemies is with these chase sections, and if you know me, you know I'm not really a big fan of chase sections in Silent Hill games. But this game is definitely a really good psychological puzzle game. I do really want to get in depth with the story, but I don't want to spoil the game in case people haven't played it, so maybe I'll make a dedicated video to it. Who knows? I make a lot of false promises, so don't hold me to my word. They released a PS2 and PSP version of this game, but the Wii version is the best because clearly this game was made with the Wii in mind, so if you have to play any version of that game, play the Wii version. Alright, looks like I got the Silent Hill fangirling out of my system, so let's move on to the next game.
Hey guys, I'm in
Silent Hill.
just hanging out.
Have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair, 7 years old?
Light gun games were super prevalent during the Wii generation. And it makes sense because the Wii is probably the closest thing that you got to the authentic light gun experience at home. It's not one-to-one, but hey, it's close enough. House of the Dead used to be a big franchise in the late 90s, but kinda teetered off a bit. So when the Wii came out, Sega actually thought this was the perfect opportunity to bring this franchise back in a reboot. And that's how we got House of the Dead Overkill. House of the Dead Overkill interests me a lot compared to other light gun games on the Wii, mainly because of its tone, because it is very 2000s. It's super edgy and has a very crass sense of humor. It's definitely a far cry from the older House of the Dead games. The older House of the Dead games had a very serious tone despite how ridiculous it is, though the voice acting is far from serious.
Man committed a sin, disturbing the life cycle of nature. The original sin that man is responsible to protect the life cycle.
House of the Dead Overkill instead has an intentionally campy style. It knows how ridiculous it is. Hell, the cutscenes are presented as these exploitation films that you would see in the 70s. And I absolutely love everything that this game is trying to do. Some people may say that this game is really dated, but personally to me, I think that adds to my enjoyment of it. It's not trying to take itself too seriously, and I can respect that. Plus, there are some funny jokes in there. Okay, not all of the game, but there are some, at least. So, what do I think of the gameplay? I mean, it's good. It's pretty hard to fuck up a light gun game, though there are some obvious exceptions if you know anything about light gun games. I mean, what you see is what you get. Just shoot the zombies and get to the boss. It's pretty simple. But the best way to play light gun games is with a friend, so if you are gonna play this game, play it with a friend. Overkill was pretty successful that it got ported to many other systems, and it even got a Typing of the Dead version for it. I find it a shame that Sega hasn't really continued the Overkill series and is instead doing crappy remakes of the original games. But I guess that's fair. Overkill is definitely a game of its time. Last thing that I will say about this game is that it has the Guinness World Record for the most swears in a video game. That's probably an accomplishment worth respecting to somebody out there, I'm sure.
Motherfucking, fucking.
Dipshit. What the fuck?
That shit's motherfucking.
Fucking.
No More Heroes. I think I gotta preface it with this. No More Heroes is probably one of my favorite gaming franchises ever. And I love all the projects by Suda51. Whether it be games like The Silver Case, Flower, Sun and Rain, Killer 7, all of those games.
There's always time for fun. It's Friday night. Let's dance.
And my favorite franchise from him is No More Heroes, which got its start on the Wii. In No More Heroes, you play as Travis Touchdown, an otaku assassin who wants to become the #1 hitman in the world. And also get some pussy. If you know anything about me, you know that I love hack and slash or character action games or whatever you call them. And No More Heroes fits in nicely with them. You're largely doing your combat with your beam katana, which has no comparison to any other popular fictional weapon in media. And despite what you might think with it being a Wii game, you don't actually attack while swinging the Wiimote. You simply just press A, and if you want to do high attacks, you simply raise your Wii remote up, and for low attacks, you do the opposite, you raise it down. The only way to kill an enemy is with finishing attacks. Okay, well, there's some exceptions, but mainly with finishing attacks. Finishing attacks is when you kill an enemy, but a reticle shows up, and you have to swing your Wiimote in the direction of the reticle. You can also do wrestling moves, which just involves you grabbing your opponent and then doing the corresponding reticle. I love this system, mainly because now that I'm older, Wii games kind of hurt my arms the more that I waggle. So this system is still fun to me, and I don't feel like my arms are having 50 weights placed on them while doing it. Also, when Travis has to recharge his beam katana, the recharge animation is him jerking off. I'm sure that people in 2007 must have busted a gut looking at this. Now, the make or break for a lot of people are the side objectives that you have to do. Because these side objectives are the only way that you can continue in the game because they're required. Some people may not like it, but I don't mind it, mainly because they aren't too annoying, and also it makes the game not feel that repetitive. The last thing that I'll mention about the game are the bosses. Most of these bosses only have 2 cutscenes each for them, and yet they have so much personality in those 2. Besides Travis himself, they are probably the most memorable aspects of this game. I don't know when's the next time I'm going to be able to talk about the No More Heroes franchise in one of my videos, so here are my thoughts on each of the games. No More Heroes 1, great game, highly recommended on every major console. No More Heroes 2, probably the worst game in the franchise, don't really recommend it unless you want to continue the story. Travis Strikes Again No More Heroes, probably my favorite game solely because of the story itself if you look at all the deeper messaging behind all of it. And No More Heroes 3, if this is the last game in the series, I'm happy that it would be this one because this is a solid game and I recommend it. So what did we learn today? I don't know, nothing. Okay, but before I end the video, if you guys are interested in a M-rated DS games video, then let me know. Okay, thanks, bye.
No more heroes,